Do you remember the Dewey Decimal System back when you were a kid? You'd go to the library and you'd open up those little drawers and you'd look through all the cards looking for that perfect book, the one that you'd been searching for. And once you found the book you were looking for, you'd write down the number furiously, then you'd run to the spot in the library where you knew that book was. And if you were really lucky, once you got to that spot in the library, you'd find a whole bunch of books around that spot that were similar to the books that you wanted. Well, the internet is no different. It's an intricate filing system of everything that's cataloged on the internet. So if you're using the right keywords on the internet and you're talking to the right people who are sharing those keywords with you on the internet, it makes sense that that categorization would follow through to people searching for things on the internet. But if you're not using keywords on the internet and you don't know what people are searching for, how are they supposed to find you? It'd be like throwing a book in the library and saying, go find it. It doesn't happen that way, right? Well, social media and search engine optimization are very similar, and they sustain each other because you're using keywords in search engine optimization and you're using keywords in social media. And both of those can inform search engines how to find your content better. So lots of companies use search engine optimization and social media, but not all of them are using them in tandem with each other or doing it very well. Well, how can you jump in the conversation if you're a company and you want to find out what people are talking about? Well, I use a lot of different tools online to find out what people are searching for so that if I'm working with a client, I can say, this is the kind of keywords you need to use for this product that you're selling. So for example, last Christmas it was December 25th, I used one of my special tools to find out what people were talking about. And I went on to Google Trends, and lo and behold, people were not talking about Christmas Day. It's the day we're supposed to be celebrating with our families, opening gifts, eating turkey. Guess what people are searching for? They're searching for what's going to happen the next day, Boxing Day sales. So if you're a company and you're online on Christmas Day, you should probably be talking about Boxing Day sales, right? Well, a lot of companies listened, some companies didn't. Banana Republic was one of the companies that listened. On Christmas Day, they had a dedicated person on social media using the keywords that people were using online. Well, Walmart and Macy's weren't listening. They were still busy wishing people Merry Christmas, which are very important things to do if you're a company, because social media is about humanizing the web, right? We want to hear those personal messages. But we also want to find what we're looking for. And that's where search engine optimization and social media come into play with each other. So I want to be really clear before I talk too much more about social media. Social media itself is not a strategy. It is part of a strategy. It is something that you use to help get your message out, to grow a community, to grow a tribe of like-minded people online. But in and of itself, it's not a strategy. It's not random conversations. It's not just about chatter. It's not what you had for lunch. It's not navel gazing. It's all about content and relationships. And it is something that is very time-consuming in the beginning, but it's also something that your company can't afford to be without in the modern age. It's relationship-based, it's about communities, it's search engine-based, it's about branding, and it is a definite traffic driver to whatever you're trying to do online. Search engine optimization and social media are very different for you as a company than they are for you as an individual. And understanding those differences is what creates the strategy around what your messaging should be. When you're using search engine optimization and social media, there are 5 rules or laws that I like to use that help both of them perform at their optimal best. So rule number 1, understand your keywords. You may have a certain product that you want to sell. For example, I was a communications director for a mattress manufacturer, and they sold latex mattresses. So when I joined them, all over their website, latex mattresses. Makes sense, because that's what they sell. Guess what? Nobody searches for latex mattresses online. In fact, nobody knows what a latex mattress is. We had to start looking at what people were searching for. People were searching for natural foam latex, or natural foam, or organic mattresses. There were so many different permeations of the keywords. So doing your research up front, finding out what people are searching for, not using your product name, but what the product will do for that person. It's that whole features versus benefits. trouble that marketers always get into challenges with. What are people searching for? What is going to make their life better? And how can you deliver that? So keywords are really important. And again, nothing new because the Dewey Decimal System worked on keywords. So understand your keywords and start looking at what people are looking for rather than what you want to give them. So that's rule number 1, understanding your keywords. Rule number 2, get into bed with your competition. Seriously, you need to know what's going on the back end of their website, on the front end of the website, how many people are visiting their sites. You need to know your competition inside out. So if they have a huge traffic spike one month and you don't, well, what the heck are they doing and how can you do that? Or if you have a huge traffic spike, what did you do? Or if you both have it, okay, it's a market trend. So understanding that competitive intelligence is really, really important. And looking at what keywords they're using. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel. If you're building a product that's already out there in the market, but you have a different value add to it, you still need to look at what the other products out there in the market are similar to yours, what keywords they're using. What are the opportunities that they've missed out on? What are they doing really well that you can do even better? When you search for something on Google, understand that Google is informed by social media. So if you've done a really good job with your keyword research and your competition has done a good job with their keyword research, you're both neck and neck, guess which one's going to win out? The one that's doing social media better. Because Google likes to have fresh content to hit searchers. It has a business model as well. If Google doesn't serve up great content to people who are searching for it, no one's going to use Google anymore. So it's invested interest in them as well. So understand that there are rules that you're playing by when you're using keywords, and understanding everything on that competitive landscape is your advantage. And I'm not talking about breaking the rules or hacking into anybody's back end of the website. All of the content that you need to make sure that your website will rank in search engines is free and open source. There's nothing against the rules there. And if you're not doing it, you can bet your competition is doing it. Unless you're not a threat and they don't care about you, and then that's not a good place to be either. Rule number 3, measure everything. So it makes sense if you're measuring your competition's website, you should be measuring everything you're doing as well. Measure all of your social media conversations. Measure complaints, resolutions, community growth, and after-sale conversions. If you're not measuring complaints, how do you know whether those complaints are ever resolved? And if you don't know if they're resolved, how can you attribute community growth to whether you're doing a good job in social media? And if you're not measuring community growth, well then how can you ever know whether any of those people refer your product to their friends? And that's what social media is about, right? So if you're all using the right keywords and you're measuring all your community growth and you're measuring conversations, you'll know when you go wrong, when things fall flat, or when you do a really, really good job and then you need to replicate that again next month. Rule number 5, we all love the idea of giving to our community, of collaborative growth. And in fact, 92% of all North Americans give back to their community in one form or another. 62% of us actively volunteer. So there's a good philosophy in social media, give to get. If you create campaigns around your keyword that are all about community growth and community building and not about selling, guess what? It's a no-brainer. You get to reach people that you wouldn't otherwise reach. When I was working for the mattress manufacturer, we had a retailer who lived in Winnipeg, and one of his sales staff was in Afghanistan on a second tour of duty, and he was killed before he came home. And he had a pillow with him, and it was a very small travel pillow, and in Afghanistan, when they're out on their tour of duty, they're not allowed to bring any creature comforts with them. But he had this pillow strapped to his leg, and he would take it with him, and when he passed away, his effects were returned to his mother, and this was one of the things that was on his person when he died. So we created a campaign to send over 5,000 pillows to Afghanistan to all of our Canadian troops. We asked people to donate $5 to help us cover the cost of the pillow. We gave people the opportunity to write a postcard to a Canadian soldier, to anybody over there, in fact, whether they were working in the kitchen or whether they were out on active duty. And so this campaign allowed us to reach not only Canadians who were very invested in what was happening over Afghanistan, but we reached an awful lot of Americans as well. That kind of campaign transcends geographical barriers. We didn't have to sell one single pillow to let people know that we were a mattress manufacturer that also sold pillows, bedding, all those goods. We were doing something that made everybody feel good about themselves. We were doing something that made our company feel good about it. We had all of our factory workers involved in it. The campaign did not cost us one single penny, but it grew our community exponentially. So those 5 rules of social media and SEO will get your product further than any selling, any push strategy, anything else that you can possibly do online. It's all about creating community growth, talking the language that people want to be talked to rather than the language that you think they need to hear or the product that you think they need. Because let's face it, in social media, it's all about me. I'm the consumer, and if you're not adding value to my life and you're not making my life better, richer, and whatever that richness is, sometimes it's conversation, sometimes it's entertainment, sometimes it's really good feel-good campaigns. Whatever it is, if you're not doing that, you're no longer important to me. I'm going to move on to the next company in my world. And that, my friends, is a very quick 411 on social media and search engine optimization and how you can grow your product with very few marketing dollars, but a lot of creativity and a lot of passion.